Bites and Delights, where Jack and I are going around Orlando or wherever we may be, trying different local spots that we either love or new spots, and then we'll give you our review on them. That way you can know the next time you're in and around Orlando or any other area we might end up to. And today
I am so excited for today's.
We are trying Jeff's Bagel Run!
What a clever name. I should have came up with that. Jack's Bagel Run sounds better than Jeff's. Just saying.
He loves bagels,
Yeah,
he's been waiting for this.
Yeah, I've heard great things about this, and this individual, Jeff, created this during COVID in his garage, I think, and it just has expanded from there, and these absolutely look delicious.
We also love a good story like that. It sounded like, well, from what we were reading, that he had lost his job and started this in his garage, so good for him, especially during COVID, which was a totally tough time in life for everybody. I think that I'm glad it flourished, and I hope that they are good bagels.
Yeah. So what we picked up today is, this is a 6-pack. Ultimately, what we did is we actually ordered on the app called Too Good To Go. So the Too Good To Go app is a place where restaurants in your local community can post leftover food at a discounted rate. We've heard great things about it. We actually saw it on YouTube on a CNBC business report. And I was like, oh, I downloaded the app and I was kind of perusing, and we
were just really intrigued by it because, like, we've always had conversations like, I wonder what restaurants do with all this stuff. Like, when I used to work at Outback, we used to donate it to a local spot that they could feed the homeless and everything. So I knew what we did at Outback when I worked there with our leftovers from the day. So I just always wondered what other places did. So we thought this was clever.
And this was also a great idea because it's cheaper than what you would have spent, like
just
full price.
Yeah.
And then it gives us the opportunity to try it for you guys. And I'm so excited because in here are 6 of their bagels. Some of them look the same.
Yeah, so essentially it looks like, from what we can tell, and we'll tell you for sure, but it looks like we have 3 different bagels. It looks like we have the pumpkin pie bagel, a plain bagel, and then an everything bagel.
We don't know if it's a pumpkin pie. We're assuming it's a pumpkin pie because on Saturday, as the recording of this, that's their day bagel. They do like a daily bagel, and this one looks to be the pumpkin pie. We thought it could be the cinnamon raisin.
Yes.
But we're hoping it's the pumpkin pie.
Yeah, we're shooting for the mini. But there's also 2 that look like the pumpkin pie, but it also could be like they're the same or they could be different. So we'll let you know, since we didn't actually pick out the bagels because that's part of the app.
Too Good To Go. It basically just says that it's a bag of a surprise.
Yes.
The one that
worth a certain value, but you're paying a different value.
Yeah, so for this example, this bag is a $12 value, so you get 6 bagels for what they consider to be a $12 value, and I paid after tax $4.30 for this. In the description it says it's a surprise bag and it can include pastries, bagels, or drinks, is what the synopsis said. We were hoping for more than just
bagels. We were hoping for drinks because it was like, ooh, leftover coffee.
Yeah. But we got bagels, and that's the reason why we went here. So we're excited to get these out of the bag and get them in the toaster.
Let's do it. The first bagel that we're going to try, to us, looking at their menu and looking at the bagel, looks like an everything bagel. Here is a close-up. And it feels very squishy. Round 1 is in the toaster. Cheers!
Oink.
He got the top, I got the bottom, because I love bottoms. Let us know in the comments if you're a top bagel person or a bottom bagel person.
I'm looking for the perfect bite.
A few bites later, because I had to try the top, and he had to try the bottom. Probably one of the softest bagels I've ever had. So soft and pillowy in the middle. Even after you toast it, really, the toasting only gets on like the outer edge and makes it like the perfect crisp. And then it is just like so soft and pillowy.
One downside to this one, in particular, I love everything bagels because I like that sesame flavor. This one, the salt overpowers the sesame flavor. Like it is really, like the top especially is really, really salty.
I will say the bottom, since there's less seasoning on it in general, mine wasn't as salty. I didn't get the salt until I ate the top side.
Yeah, but yeah, it's super salty. You can see the grains of salt. I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but the salt just radiates all over the top of that.
And it almost has like, it gives it to me like a garlicky flavor too, instead of like just the everything bagel spice flavor. But yeah, salty, garlicky, I feel like.
We are off to a great start though.
Yes. Oh my gosh, the bagel is so soft. I've never had a soft bagel like this before.
Next up, the plain. Next up, plain. Bink. Their plain bagel, delicious. And once again, soft on the inside, crispy, crunchy on the outside after being toasted. The one nice part about this bagel and like the flavor profile is that it almost tastes like a pretzel after it like settles on your tongue after a while. It's got like that malty flavor from like the yeast and everything coming together. Really tasty, really delicious, excellent plain bagel.
Nice and fluffy. To me, plain bagels, like, honestly, it's just a plain bagel. It's like a piece of bread. Not high in flavor profile, in my opinion. But just how soft and pillowy it is, I just enjoy the softness.
The squish.
I wouldn't say I would ever get a plain bagel. It's not my go-to, but it's a yummy plain bagel, but it also tastes like any other plain bagel. Not high in any sort of other flavor besides just being plain.
These crisp up.
Perfectly.
Yeah.
Usually bagels, I feel like once you toast them, the inside also gets hard, but they do not. Only the outer shell gets crispy, and then the rest of it melts in your mouth.
Excellent. Last but not least, it's dessert bagel time. Pumpkin pie.
The pumpkin pie bagel. Ding! Not my fave.
This one is super dense. And
sorry, go ahead. The densest bagel we've had, for sure.
yeah, it doesn't really crisp up like the other ones, and the dough's a lot like more firm.
Yeah, it's definitely not as pillowy. It almost tastes burnt, this one does, or at least gives you a burnt aftertaste. And I cooked them all the same in our toaster, so it wasn't, I don't think it was like our toaster's doing by any means. They do put like a glaze on the outside, because if you lick it, it tastes sweet. And your hands get sticky, like if you touch it. But for me, it's not like a good pumpkin for me. I'm not a big pumpkin person to begin with, so that's bad to say. But it's almost like a spice cake, and I'm not a fan of spice cake. It's too spicy.
The best way for me to describe this is if you walked into a Williams-Sonoma and you could eat it. That's what it tastes like. The smell of Williams-Sonoma in a flavored bagel is what this tastes like. Like you
it's
know,
more
like those,
spice cake than it's like, more spice cake than just pumpkin.
It's more clover.
Clover,
like,
that's it.
It's clover, then a little hint of
even
nutmeg.
when you smell it.
No cinnamon at all. If there is cinnamon, it's covered up by the clover. It is clover forward for sure.
I wish I had like. It would be better with like brown sugar, cream cheese or something, or like honey butter. Like
the one thing too is like my top has none of the graham cracker in it. So
my bottom definitely does, but hardly
only
any.
A few pieces of graham cracker. Yeah, that's the only downside to this one. But
3.
I would definitely take this one over a cinnamon raisin.
Oh, for sure. But to do the way we did it, I'm glad that they gave us the bagel of the day, since they do a daily bagel.
Yeah, it's almost like they almost like wipe it with
like sugar water or something.
Yeah, like a cinnamon water. Cinnamon sugar water. But yeah,
I think it's nice that they gave us the daily bagel. I think it was worth it in my opinion. I don't know about you, to get those 6. I'm always the type that The plain bagel is not my go-to, but to get the pumpkin pie daily bagel and to luck into pumpkin because Jack loves pumpkin, like that was exciting. To get the everything bagel because you definitely love everything bagels. The plain one was the only one like but I figured when we did the bag that we did, I thought we'd get like all the terrible ones. I was like, watch us get like sesame. Sorry if you like sesame, it's just not for me. Thought we'd get like sesame, onion, or
they have like a garlic. They got a garlic one too. We did get a plain.
Well, we did get a plain, but that was the only one that I was like, ah.
Yeah. The one disservice that this bagel has against it, and it's just the way it was packed, is the fact that it was packed next to everything bagels. So the everything bagel that we tried first is so powerful that it like encompasses all of the bagels.
Yep.
That it's one thing that takes away from this because you get the hint of the everything bagel in this one.
Yeah, I think
So-
that's like anytime they mix them in a bag. Or a
Yeah,
box.
one thing that I've noticed that some bagel spots have started to do is put the everything bagel in its own separate bag in the bigger thing. So that's one recommendation I think that could be better if you could separate them if you're going to give them. But this isn't my favorite, but it had the most potential on my list.
Yeah. All right. So of course we gotta rank them. What's your ranking?
I'm going to have to do plain first. What's your first?
Plain.
Okay.
Plain
Number
first.
2, everything.
Everything.
And then number 3,
Pumpkin pie.
pumpkin pie.
And we did determine that the fourth bagel that was a question mark is pumpkin pie.
Yeah.
We cut it open and it smells like pumpkin.
Yep.
We took a little nibble. It tastes like
It's got the same density
so,
and everything.
Out of the 6, we got 2 everything, 2 plain, and 2 pumpkin pie.
Well, that's our experience with Jeff Bagels. I and Erica would definitely go back.
Yep.
However, with an asterisk, I would probably not use the Too Good To Go app again.
Yep.
Just because we're picky about what food we get. And
Well-
this way it was kind of genericized, so you knew you were going to get a bagel or a pastry or something like that. So like you couldn't deviate too far. But we have specific bagels that we both love.
Yes. Sorry, had to get our princess. It's getting close to her bedtime, so she's getting a little cranky. But to reiterate, I would definitely go back to Jeff's Bagel Run. They were so pillowy, minus the pumpkin one. That was the most dense, but it wasn't that it wasn't pillowy. It was just more dense. So I would go back and get a flavor that I actually would love, which usually my go-to is a cinnamon one. No raisin, just like a cinnamon sugar one, or a cinnamon streusel, or a blueberry. Those are my top, and then it would be an Asiago cheese. So I would definitely go back and try those because those would be a flavor that I know I would love, and if they were pillowy, I bet they are amazing. As far as the, what is it called again? Get it to go? I can't
Too Good To Go.
Too Good To Go. I can't ever remember it all day long. I'm like, what is it called? What is it called? Too Good To Go. I would do Too Good To Go again somewhere else. I wouldn't do it with a bagel spot and maybe a donut spot because donut spots have more variety. Well, I guess bagels have just as many varieties, but I wouldn't use it again at a bagel spot just because with getting only 6 bagels, I obviously know you're probably going to get 2 of the same, which is what we got, but it just wouldn't be enough variety for me to enjoy it because the plain is never my favorite. The pumpkin was exciting, like I said, because like I can't believe they gave you the bagel of the day and the too good to go. Too good to go. Can't believe they gave you the bagel of the day for that. Like that was nice of them, I feel like. And then the everything was, theirs was very salty, but usually I could enjoy a nice everything bagel here and there. But yes, definitely give, in my opinion, give Jeff's Bagel Run a try if you're in town. They are soft and pillowy, and that's what kind of sells it for me. But I wouldn't do this one again or a different bagel place with that app because I don't think the value is, like the value's there because we spent $4.30 and got 6 bagels, but the variety of flavors that you get for bagels when everybody has their own specific flavors wasn't there for me. Thanks for joining us on another episode of Bites and Delights where we tried Jeff's Bagel Run. We definitely would recommend it to go back. Just get the bagel that you would love, and I think it'll be great because they were so pillowy. Let us know down in the comments if there's any other places you'd like to see, and until next time, we will see you around like a donut.